So, Damon, you want to go over the broker you recommend here?
So yeah, we what we think we're going to recommend is I have a personal relationship with the owners of the broker and the high management. And the reason I have that relationship is I manage some really big investor accounts through them for several years. So I was able to develop that close relationship. Not only that, but they're very generous. They're very negotiable with us. And so that gives us a little leverage to give you guys prime trading conditions. So that is LiquidFX, LQDFX. So we'll drop the link in the chat for that. And it's a very easy to use interface. Spreads are great and they are accessible worldwide. And they even offer crypto payouts, which is what I use. I use Cash App. So I do a Bitcoin withdrawal from my trading profits, send it right to my Cash App, and then I can either just use it from my Cash App or send it to my bank. I use Cash App all the time. So, you know, it's really convenient, couple day withdrawals, and it works great. So that's LQDFX. The link is right there in the chat, and we're gonna walk you through how to set up an account with them. Super easy. I recommend everybody at least start on demo. Don't just jump in with thousands of dollars like I did when I started trading.
Oh, you froze there, Damon. Well, I'll continue what he was doing until he comes back. So as he was saying, he started with a lot more money. A lot of people think you need to have, you know, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in a Forex account to make money. You don't need a lot of money, and a good trader doesn't need to start with a lot. You can literally start with a couple hundred and turn it into a few thousand in a relatively short amount of time when you learn the skill. Now, learning the skill is not instant, right? Learning how to take these signals, that's what we're going to teach you this part here tonight. It's going to help out a bit for you. Again, we don't recommend you just relying on the signals for your income for the rest of your life or anything like that. I never recommend that because the signals are coming from an outside source when you should become your own source of income. So no matter how well the signals perform for you, we still recommend you actually, you know, start learning how to trade, show up to live trading sessions. Between the Lit Trade House and Tradera, there's multiple sessions a day. You can start learning how to trade via the Tradera back office, via the Lit Trade House Facebook group. They have a lot of curriculum there. We're working on our own curriculum as well. You can learn how to start trading while you earn with these signals. And then one day eventually become your own signal maker. And then that's when it can really get fun. And that's where you can really, I'm sure you guys have seen in Forex, people take, you know, $50 to 20 grand in 3 weeks. You know, that's not something we want to tell people that can happen all the time, but it's something that when you take the time and you put in the hours and put in the hours and put in the hours to learn the skill, it's something that really is, wow, realistically can actually happen for you. Like, no bullshit, those kind of things can actually happen, but you have to show up and you have to put in the time here. So I don't know what happened here to Damon. He's not coming back by the looks of it here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share the screen here. So when you take the link, this is what it's going to show you here. Can everyone see my screen too before I continue? I want to make sure everyone sees everything. Give me like a 1 in chat if you can see it. Got a couple ones. Okay, so you go here, you're going to click individual. Unless you're actually trading as an LLC, I recommend just starting everything out as an individual. You start filling your stuff out. Now when you get to the end here, I'm not going to start filling it all out because I've already used my email and stuff. When you get to the end, you're going to have to get verified. This is required with any broker. You're typically going to have to give them a driver's license or passport, proof of address. Most of them want a bank bill, utility bill. Some will accept the phone bill, some won't. You need to ask, find out, check the rules, regulations. I believe LQD does accept phone bills for proof of address. And you need to get verified. Now this can take anywhere from, you know, I've been verified as quick as an hour, and it's taken as long as, you know, 3-4 days. Brokers are typically on the faster side, but it can take up to 3 or 4 days. Don't be shocked if it does. Don't be shocked if your document gets rejected. It could have been bad lighting. It could have been a corner of your document was cut off in the picture, anything like that. Is Nigerian accepted on this broker? I'd have to ask Damon. Damon's back here, internet dropped. Let me bring him back in here. This is his broker. He's more familiar with it. I actually use the crypto broker. We're going to show you guys after. Where did you go? I don't know which one to make co-host here. You were in here with two. There you go.
Cool.
But yeah, once you get verified, I'll let you take over. So once they're verified, what's their next step for creating their account?
So yeah, sorry, my internet dropped and it still drops, so I'm on my phone right now. Hang on just a sec. So yeah, as soon as you go through, you get verified, you submit your documents, you can deposit without being verified. That's fine. So you don't have to wait on being verified to deposit money. A lot of people think that you do. You don't. You just have to be verified to withdraw money, right? Because they got to make sure that they're paying somebody that's legally in a position to receive that. Nobody's money laundering, nobody's breaking any financial laws or anything like that. That's why you have to submit these documents. You can't just be like a fraudulent person. I would recommend everybody start on demo for a little bit and just get a feel for things, especially if you're brand new. But if you've been trading for a while, go ahead, just drop some money in it. I believe you can deposit with wire, or there's lots of ways to deposit. I like crypto just because it's kind of off the grid and it's secure and it's quick. So, I mean, and again, if you're not familiar with crypto, I wasn't either until a couple of months ago. I hadn't messed with it. Just get Cash App, because Cash App has a built-in Bitcoin wallet. And that's actually how I withdraw my profits. It's super simple. Once you do that, go ahead and on your phone, either it's Android, their marketplace, I think that's the Google marketplace, I'm not sure what one they use, or the iPhone, the Apple store. You go to MT4, it's a free app, and download MT4, and then you're going to take the login information that you got via your sign up email for your demo account or your live account if you want to go live, and then you just plug in that information into your mobile, and you do the same thing on desktop. So it's going to prompt you when you're opening your broker account to download the native app for your PC or Mac, whatever you're using, and you just do the same thing, put in your login info. Okay. The hardest part about this whole thing is just setting up MT4. Trust me, it's harder than learning how to trade. It really is. MT4 is kind of a pain in the butt, but once you get it set up, it's easy to go. And the reason for that is because it's an old program. It was built for the 90s level Windows, and they haven't really had a reason to upgrade it too much. So, but it works just fine. Once you get it all set up, you'll be good to go.
Okay, and just to clarify, so when they do log in and they go to deposit their money, what kind of account should they make again?
So let me pull up your screen so I can see. Do you have an option? I'm just looking at my phone. That's why I'm got my face in the camera. Sorry. Do you have an account type option? No, go to open a new account, because I haven't opened a new account in a long time. So I want to make sure that they haven't changed anything. Yeah. So don't open a PAM account. You don't need that. And then select account type. No,
US,
so,
and then account type.
So ECN is my preferred. The VIP, Islamic, and Gold all have minimum required balances. They're really good accounts, but they have minimum balances that are pretty high. So
the ECN has a minimum balance of 500 now as well.
Okay, so yeah, that's new. The ECN, $500 on that one. So the micro account, now this was confusing for me at first, because micro accounts are usually traded in tenths of standard positions. This one's not. It's basically an ECN with a lower limit. So it's not like a traditional micro account. So if you go Google Forex micro account and read the definition of what that is, that's not what this is. This is like a traditional ECN regular account, but with a lower limit. So if you're going to be using less than $500, which isn't always recommended, but it's really whatever you can start with. I recommend everybody starting with at least $1,000. That's me personally. If it was ideal, it would be $2,500 to $5,000 for trading. But again, you can start with a lot less, especially if you're following signals.
And then what about the leverage?
Yeah, go ahead and go to leverage. So 1 to 200 is fine. I can't really see that.
It's 1, 1, 150, 1 to 100, 1 to 300, 1 to 500.
I mean, so here's the thing about leverage is I have a free training on this that explains all of this. Just because you have the leverage available doesn't mean you have to use it. So it really doesn't matter too much as long as you're practicing good risk management. So you can pick the max leverage. It doesn't mean you have to use it.
Perfect. And then for the bonus, should they receive it or should they not?
No, I'm not a fan of bonus.
And why would that be? Just so people are clear.
Well, the reason is because if you get in a sticky situation where you're in an amount of drawdown that's unacceptable, and which you never should be, and that's why we're going to talk about risk management, so you're not in those situations. But usually, if they give you a bonus, they'll alter the margin call to whatever amount. So let's say you have $1,000 account and you're $400 to $500 of drawdown. So 40 to 50% of your account is in a negative open float. What they're going to do is they're going to withdraw their bonus while you're in that negative open float. Now you have an account balance that was $1,000, and if their bonus was $300, now it's $700, and you're still in that negative $500 open float. So you went from a 50% drawdown to like a 75% drawdown, and now you're going to get blocked out of the account. So I just look at it as worst case scenario. If you know what you're doing, go ahead, over leverage yourself. I know traders that are personal friends of mine that use leverage and use bonus, and they do it very well, but they know what they're doing. Okay. So it's not something I would recommend for a new trader, because that's what brokers try to do. They dangle this free money and free leverage in front of your face. They're like, hey, come trade all this money that you don't have, just to entice you in there and get you in a sticky situation. So it pays to be mindful of that.
Awesome. Is that making sense for everyone? Does everyone feel like they can successfully create their account on this broker now? Yes, we got one yes here. Yep, another sure. Yeah,
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, so now we have one other broker we recommend. The reason I recommend this broker is now their spreads are a little higher than LQD, but they allow you to hold a trade account in Bitcoin or in Ethereum. So if you want to have Bitcoin and grow your Bitcoin, instead of gaining dollars, you gain chunks of Bitcoin, which is what I prefer to do. You want to use Hugo's Way. LQD will only let you hold in US and euros. Hugo's Way gives you a whole bunch of options. So here's what it looks like. Here's the different wallets you can have: a USD, Euro, British Pound, Canadian Dollar, Aussie Dollar, and then Bitcoin. Okay, I guess there was Ethereum. This is not right now. You can withdraw in Ethereum, but if you want to hold Bitcoin and grow Bitcoin, I recommend this. Your risk management, it's a little tougher with Bitcoin, so know that it will be a little harder to figure that out. If you're wondering right now what is risk management, we're going to be covering that in the next 2 steps. So that'll make sense here in a second. But that's really the main difference. If you want to trade US dollars, go to LQD. If you want to trade crypto, go to Hugo's Way. So does that make sense for everyone? When you say spread, what does that mean? We'll let Damon explain this one. This is his territory.
So the spread is the difference between the bid and the ask price, and it's essentially the price you pay for a position, right? Because a lot of people don't and I have a free training on this that I'll give you guys. I would explain all of this stuff. So it's the difference between the bid price and the ask price, and it's essentially the cost you pay to open a position. So whenever you open a trade, whenever you first open a trade, it's always going to be negative, unless it's just rocketing in the position, in the direction that you're trading. Okay, so it's always going to start a little bit negative because you're starting at the cost of the trade. So it's just the difference between the bid and the ask price. And ECN accounts, see, with fixed accounts, when it says fixed, that means the spread is always going to be the same. ECN accounts, we like those because the spread varies, and that can be advantageous for us certain times of the day. Now, there's certain times of the day that are more liquid than others. Like, for example, the London session and the New York session. Tokyo session usually has a much higher spread. So there's a greater cost of opening positions. So it's just, there's lots of pros and cons and whatever fits your style.
So yeah, the higher spread essentially means the trades with Hugo's Way is just going to cost you a slightly bit more to enter on average, but you can grow Bitcoin. So those are the pros and cons of that. Does everyone feel good about that? Does it make sense so far? Any questions, any concerns so far? Before we move on to the next step.
Do you walk them through Hugo's Way already?
The only real difference is that it can do Bitcoin.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it's simple as that. It's a pretty self-explanatory process. We'll drop the link in there and you guys can follow that.
Yeah, with Hugo's Way, same thing. You can pick an ECN account. I believe there are ECN accounts. You can start as low as $50. And same thing, they go up to 500 leverage. Pick the leverage that makes sense for you. The higher the number, the higher the leverage. So be mindful about that. I don't actually believe I've ever been offered a bonus from Hugo's Way. If they offer bonuses, I haven't been offered one. So, but we'll move on to the next step here, freeforex.co.